Hey guys, we are here with our review of Part 5 of Obi-Wan, the series on Disney+. We finally get a little bit more of a payoff. Mr. Vader shows up and we get kind of the reveal that we all saw coming a mile away for Reva. And I will say off the bat that the episode was better than the last episode. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the better episodes, mainly because of Darth Vader. And mainly because of that amazing mullet flashback, mullet rat tail fucking Jedi training sequence between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It was great seeing that. Yes, Anakin kind of looked a little older to be
supposed to be 16,
Padawan.
17.
Maybe the de-aging didn't work too well there, but it was fucking awesome, and I loved seeing it. And it played very well with the rest of the episode on the story that it's trying to tell and the implications of Anakin's a tunnel vision at times and how he thinks he wins and things like that. So I thought it was a much better episode than what we've had before, but I still have a lot of problems with it. And I mean, we went hard on the last fucking episode, and I realized we actually didn't go hard enough on the last episode. So I have a few things that I want to say on the last episode because this thing is so fucking ridiculous. Remember when I said it was as if the stormtrooper was presenting himself for the thing? I went back and watched it, and she literally slaps the stormtrooper's head, and he goes, "Oh!" Like, I played that shit. It is so fucking ridiculous. Look at this. What the fuck? Did you just slap me? She's literally slapping Storm. What the fuck is a helmet for?
Nothing.
If this is not for protection. So the helmet is his
obscure.
skin. It's as if he How can she slap? She slap. How can she slap?
It's basically just to obscure your vision so you can't shoot right.
I know. And then what's even worse is Disney. I cannot believe they left this in here. This is the Last Jedi bad, where Obi-Wan ignites his saber, slams it into the stormtrooper in the dark, and it bounces the fuck off. And they left this in here. Why? Look at this shit. Oh my God. So it's just, there's so many different things. And then when it ties into the greater whole of Jedi Fallen Order, which is canon, by the way. Cal Kestis has infiltrated this base before, and they've not shored up security. They've not put the TIE fighters to hunt them down. It's just ridiculous. And it's just crazy to me. I felt like there was not enough story to tell to really sustain the series, or I expected more story for Obi-Wan. I wanted a Obi-Wan focused character piece. You know what I'm saying? And instead, what we're focusing on is not only Obi-Wan, but it's like nearly 50 to 60% Reva and her storyline. And I just think that one doesn't quite work. And so we get the resolution somewhat there's a little hook there for the final episode, but a resolution of the Reva storyline. So, like I said, it's a better episode, but there's still flaws. What did you guys think of episode 5, part 5?
Well, obviously it's going to be better because that thing that we saw last Wednesday was trash.
Trash.
This one
garbage.
Is slightly better, but at the same time just left me with more questions.
Yeah,
it's like, so Reva knows that Vader is Anakin, and Anakin knows Reva was a little girl. So I knew that you knew that you knew that I knew.
Even though Vader is not going to let people know who he is, but he knew the whole time, and I guess he was keeping her on a short leash. Yes, Joe, yes. He knew that she knew, but she also knew that he knew, or no, she knew him, but he knew her. Yes. Yes, Joe. That's what.
Okay.
What do you want?
No.
Okay.
No.
Was okay. What did you feel about the episode?
I honestly thought it was okay, average at best.
Mm.
This one didn't really resonate with me.
Damn, that
like
sucks.
I wanted to see, like you said, whenever I was trying to watch the show, I was hoping it would be Obi-Wan focused, but it's not. We're focusing more on Reva, we're focusing more on Leia, and we got this escort missions. And this one is focusing more on Reva.
Yes.
It's like
this is definitely Reva and Darth Vader.
Yeah, there was some cool parts when we got Christensen back, but that's
flashbacks. That was a great part.
Yeah, but other than that, no.
You didn't like it either.
Yeah, I think it's the best episode of the entire season.
Yep.
Pretty easily. I would say that half of this episode is excellent. I think there's some amazing visuals. I love the flashback sequence. I actually love the directorial decision to constantly be showing us a lightsaber duel where they're going over strategy, where Anakin's clearly stronger than Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan knows this, and he's playing his defensive strengths. And so they're telling this episode while they're showing us this duel and eventually slowly revealing the thing. I think that was really kind of cool.
Perfect.
Amazing. I love seeing Coruscant. I love seeing Hayden Christensen. I love seeing Ewan McGregor. Fucking awesome.
Just took us so long to get here.
There's so many cool things about this. Vader is an absolute badass when he shows up. He does badass shit. And then there's a spaceship out of nowhere. I stopped and I constantly looked to see if there's another spaceship in there. There wasn't. There was never another spaceship. I constantly stopped and looked. I was like, I don't know if I could see one.
I was wondering about that
but anyway,
too.
there's a lot of but all of that greatness is undercut by really stupid shit. Again, we are trying to show that Leia's amazing. It's like the Omega thing that we get in the fucking Dad Batch, where Omega has to just like
Omega.
She goes in and she walks
Fixes
into she knows how to she goes into a vent. She's a princess that lives in the woods of Alderaan. She does not know how to crawl into a vent and emergency hack a hangar, and it's just like it's portrayed poorly, it's written poorly. Now there's a ton of ways that we could think about it. It's like she could deprogram Lola, and Lola could show her how to do all those things. They did none of that shit. So the bad directorial decisions, the bad writing decisions, the bad dialogue undercuts all of that other really, really amazing things. So we have an episode that's like half awesome and half garbage.
Yeah.
But still, this is the best episode we've gotten, and I'm kind of upset that it took us to the second to last episode before things really get going.
That's what I'm most upset about.
Yeah. That it took this long to get to something
this
cool?
This is the 5th one. We got one more left.
One more episode.
Like, come on.
I hope there's going to be a final duel. I thought the concept art that they showed a long time ago had this badass fight between Vader and Obi-Wan. Are they not doing that? Are they saving that for season 2? There's kind of reports that they might do a season 2. I mean, it's not 100% confirmed, but I'm going to be really disappointed. And I just, what did you? This essentially was Reva cornering Obi-Wan and the reveal of Reva's backstory that we all saw coming a mile away. And then Darth Vader shows up, and Obi-Wan has a deal with Reva, and Reva attempts to take out Darth Vader. But what really elevated the episode is that badassery from Darth Vader. Motherfucker never even ignites his lightsaber. She's like absolutely nothing compared to him. It was so cool to watch. At a moment, I kept waiting for Obi-Wan to pop out and help out, but I realized,
he's gone.
Shit, he literally peaced out. They're not working together. He's like, no, I'll bring Vader to you, and you do something. Fuck off, right? He really used Reva as a tool, right? And he knew Reva had no fucking chance against Vader. No. So I guess what we're getting here in this last episode, since Reva, and here's where the writing breaks down and shit is so fucking stupid. It's like, are you kidding me? Reva, not only does she get impaled once by a lightsaber, she's impaled twice by a lightsaber. Once when she was a Padawan, a little fucking girl, and now she's impaled again, and she's not dying. She literally cannot die.
She got scoliosis, man, and it doesn't fit right, and the lightsaber goes through the spine bends.
Does she have two stomachs like the Grand Inquisitor, as we see, who essentially makes a return in this episode?
Uncle Fester's back.
Uncle Fester, who taunts her. It's just so stupid. You're making Vader, you're making him badass, and then in the next moment, you're deflating him, and you're making him idiotic. The fact that he doesn't kill her, confirms she's dead or something, he just lets her go there. And
he's walking around town just like...
Yeah. Well, in the last episode, they implied that Vader didn't come up with the plan on the Death Star to do the tracker. That was Reva's idea, and he's just borrowing Reva's idea. I hate the fact that the series took agency away from Obi-Wan in order to focus on this brand new character. Now, there's a reveal of her lineage, which is she's a Jedi, and she really fucking hates Anakin. And so this whole time that she was being fucking annoying on trying to get Obi-Wan was really just so she can get back at Vader and Anakin. It just doesn't ring right with me, right? It's like, so Anakin fucking like obliterates all of her friends, and so she fucking joins him and becomes exactly what he was.
And kills a whole bunch of Jedi.
Extremely annoying, kills a bunch of Jedi, is slashing up fucking people, innocents' arms and shit. I think Reva was taken too far when they tried to have their cake and eat it too, where they showed her like menacing, trying to be menacing. That's the problem with Reva, is her character's not intimidating and not menacing, and was so annoying. Even the villains thought she was annoying. The heroes thought she was annoying. The villains thought she was annoying, and so the audience thinks her annoying. Now, the Reva character could have worked, and I was the one that wanted like a Sith type. She's not a Sith. She's a Dark Jedi or a turned Jedi to work with a red lightsaber, and that's what I wanted with that. George Lucas has an original idea. She's like a red-skinned Twi'lek or something. Forget her name. Darius. I don't know. But so I wanted her to work. And maybe this could have worked with Reva if they clued in the audience, right? They did have the school shooting at the beginning, right? But if you showed it a little bit more from her perspective and her doing some of these other things, but filming it and presenting it in the way that they did, it just didn't have the impact where she goes from heel to baby face. Well, not really baby face. She was just, I get what they're saying here. What they're saying in the episode is that these people are blinded by their rage and their need for vengeance. Vader, Anakin, is blinded. He's tunnel vision. He's walking in that hallway, fucking going straight for Obi-Wan. Forgets that there's a second ship, I guess, and doesn't give a shit about finishing off Reva. They act like he's an idiot because he's just so focused on Obi-Wan. And same with Reva. Reva's just focused on getting revenge on Anakin, and so she's so over the top to try to prove herself that she's really a bad guy and should be the greatest Inquisitor. So and her plan is to get Obi-Wan in front of Anakin so that then she can use that opportunity to attack Vader while his guard is down, I guess. I don't know.
Does she have access to the back to tank room he's in? Because she's a Grand
exactly. I don't know.
And also, doesn't Vader cut her little spinny stick in half?
Yes.
And then doesn't at the very last the very last thing that she does is pick up her not broken in half spinny stick?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure that I was.
I mean, I guess it still works clearly because
it's together.
Yeah, but he ignites both of them. He has a dual bladed at one point.
At the end of the episode, though, she reaches out and it's not cut in half.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I was like,
I'm pretty sure it was cut in half.
Did they give her a new one? No, the very last scene, it's definitely not cut in half. Like,
that's what I thought too. I was like,
really?
I don't know.
I didn't know if the Grand Inquisitor, the new Grand Inquisitor, gives her one back, and he's like, "Hey,
there's no way
you didn't kill me, so I'm not gonna kill you because we don't kill people.
I'll have to look at that. But yeah, that.
Did you see? I just. Let me know. Was there another ship in there?
So
I froze it.
I think that the reveal of Reva does explain some of her obnoxious behavior in the past series. They're giving her a character motivation where she is blinded by rage, and Obi-Wan is just directing that rage at Vader in order to escape. That works. It works fine. I just wish they had executed it better, maybe clued in the audience, endear the audience a little bit more to her. I know you're not really supposed to like her character, but
not yet.
I just don't feel like, well, maybe.
This is the Disney formula. Disney's been doing this for literally years now. They want you to kind of like what you're watching now, but the next big thing that they reveal at the end of their series is supposed to get you hyped. And so you're not ever hyped about what's happening now. Like now they're like, oh, cool, Reva could have a cool story. It's like, this was the time to have the cool Reva story. I don't need you to set me up for a sequel. It takes away from what I'm watching now when you're sequel baiting me the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
Let me get excited about these characters, develop these characters now. They purposely didn't develop her so they can develop her in a series that I don't fucking want to watch now because you didn't develop her here.
Yeah. So ultimately, I'm disappointed. It's a better episode, but I'm disappointed because you get a glimmer of what this could have been.
Yes.
Anakin and Obi-Wan, flashbacks, training, that reference to the future, and that he is still the master. So now the quote kind of works still that, when I left you, you were still the master, and I'm learning because you still fucking overcame me and used me as a tool. So the Reva fight, the Obi-Wan Anakin flashback, those were the strong aspects of the episode. Even the Grand Inquisitor kind of taunting her and coming back. It's like, you're nothing. But the weaker aspects is, unfortunately, continued the writing and the cheapness of the TV budget. At certain times, it looks good. Fucking Vader is doing goddamn Force Unleashed. He doesn't let the fucking ship go. In fact, he goes one step beyond that, brings the ship down, just starts ripping it to pieces. Nobody inside, second ship leaves. Was he on cooldown again? He wasn't able to grab the second ship.
He couldn't sense
the
that
cooldown because of the fire cooldown, and now this cooldown.
Yeah.
He couldn't sense that Obi-Wan wasn't in that one. He can sense him from like almost a planet away. You just can't. He didn't know that one was empty.
Yeah, so sometimes it looks good, and then other times it looks ridiculous. Like the stormtroopers, these stormtroopers are even worse than the stormtroopers that we know in the original series. They're in a hallway, a small fucking hallway. There's 50 of them, and none of them can hit fucking rebel troops that are literally right in front of their face.
They're better armed.
It is
better
Deborah
trained.
Chow's direction on how this gun battle goes down. They could have easily put boxes and had some rebels, in the beginning of A New Hope, they're ready, they're firing back and forth, it is an exchange of fire, eventually they start retreating, do that. But no, it's a goddamn fucking mess in the hallway of ridiculousness.
They're like arm's length close together. I definitely got.
And they can't shoot anybody.
I got Hot Shots Part where he's standing right next to him and he's like, and they're like right on top of it.
Like, and then Tala gets her death scene, and honestly, it's like, oh fuck, it's cool. It's a cool scene. The robot's trying to protect her, and she gives her life for the rebellion. This is the kind of shit that could work in a better written series, and it's just everything around her was so ridiculous leading up to it that you're like, really? Did that need to happen? Because it's filmed that way? You could have filmed it in a different way. Because in that moment, Obi-Wan could just force pull her over here. He could have saved her. He literally is not that far from her. It's just, it's this kind of stuff. And then you see fucking Darth Vader doing all his force pulls, which was fucking cool as shit because he actually stopped the spin of a goddamn fucking, Inquisitor double-bladed saber. It was just ridiculously cool. But you see, so it's up and down, honestly, and it's very mixed. Yeah. So let's go to, I suppose, final verdicts, and then we'll do an episode breakdown right after. So, yeah, let's go.
For me, it's going to be a 5. It was better than the other one. I did like some of the cool stuff that they displayed in certain aspects, but overall, it just some stupid stuff. It just took me out of the whole episode. I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. This is dumb.
The last episode took us out, and so you're kind of apprehensive in this one, and then you still see stupid shit, and the cool stuff comes, and you're like, all right.
Yeah, and then like Alex was saying, like a Reva, I didn't really care about this character, and it was pretty much focused on her. I don't like the complete 180. They have Obi-Wan dead to rights. And he's like, come on,
I just
let's
don't
team
buy
up
her
with
motivation.
me. Yeah, team up with me. He's like, okay, you could go.
Yeah.
And now he's gone, and the whole Vader thing. I'm very disappointed in this series.
Okay.
5.
That's fair. 5 on this one. What did you give the last one? Like 3? Something like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that with this, the highs that this one had, but the incredible lows. I just don't understand why they just need to prove to me that I know Leia is a badass. I've watched and I've read, and I know Leia is a badass. I don't need to see 9-year-old Leia. Like the whole resistance, Obi-Wan's life, and her life is at that.
And she doesn't notice the Lolabot in there the whole time. It's like, beep, 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 and then all of a sudden she sees it and deprograms it by just pulling something off.
Yeah, she pulls the restraining bolt off, and it's just like, you don't need to justify this to me. This didn't need to be in there. And they're like, well, it's for the kids. It's like, kids can appreciate Star Wars.
I think it's for the adults, Alex, where it's like, look, Leia still gets to do something. Leia has to do something. No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
Leia doesn't have to.
Well, the more that she does, the worse it makes you realize, because when we are introduced to Leia, that's not that character, right? She can shoot and she's brave and she's all these other things, but she's not supposed to know Ben Kenobi and all these other things that happen. So like the more that they do with Leia, the more I'm like, wait a minute, they're not supposed to meet. Vader and Obi-Wan, like I love seeing them together, but we have to really stretch the imagination that Vader's like, well, I'm not the master. Master, you just ripped the fucking spaceship out of the sky and ripped it in half. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're the master here. But I think that this is average TV, and that is really me being kind. I think that seeing the amazing Vader scene, seeing the emotional Talia death. Talia? Her name's
Tala.
Tala. That was a great scene. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. There's a lot of ridiculous things, especially the fight leading up to it. But it's like eventually you make me care about these characters enough. It was the only character I knew that was going to die. We knew she was going to die because she's the only character that we know that can die.
Yeah.
But this isn't what I wanted. And then right now, we are at the point where we're at the same fucking spot. Vader is, I guess, chasing them. Mm-hmm. They can't go to hyperdrive. They can't go to hyperspace, conveniently. But I don't know where. Like, what is the point of this series?
That's where you going with.
To introduce Reva to the lore.
Well, introduce Reva in this one so that we can have a whole series about her later. It's like, again,
I hope that doesn't happen. Listen, I thought, what are you giving it? 5? I thought you said it was one of it is the best episode.
Correct.
Of the series.
I think it's probably is correct.
Well, at the end too, the thing that got me is like, oh no, now they're gonna go for Luke. So now we got another escort mission.
Oh, and I hate that.
To go protect.
That's one of the worst bits of writing.
You have to tie Luke into the series, so
at
that's
the very
definitely
last episode, though.
That's the dumbest bit of writing in the entire this episode.
Yeah. Oh no, the dumbest bit of writing is when Bail Organa was like,
"I'm over here just in case you've been trapped, and I'm going to send you an unencrypted message." Straight to you, letting you know the existence of Luke.
The
other thing I fucking hated.
Is not dying. All right, you're lowering the fucking score for me because I'm realizing the stupid God. I mean, we literally just watched this. Yeah, it's getting worse and worse.
Did you see how quick she cut through that fucking door in half a second?
Right, with the turbo lasers of firing.
And then it's like, well, look, you have hundreds of fucking lightsabers. Just fucking give them to stormtroopers and watch them cut the fucking thing open.
It took a while for the Phantom Menace for quite.
Oh no, hers was immediately through because hers is superpowered.
So because I am fresh off it, and I did like this episode. I thought it was one of the better ones, but I don't think it's actually because of the fact that it's so focused on Reva, and we get this reveal that I saw coming a mile away. Don't even really sort of buy the fact that she's going to join the person who literally murdered all her friends and do the same things that he did in order to have a small infinitesimal chance to take him when he's not looking. Yep. And it's just, no, I just don't buy it. And honestly, the execution of her character wasn't as well as it could have been. And this episode was her. It took it so much. Now, I loved the Vader fight with her. I loved the flashback scene. But outside that, I had problems with the writing and even the way the action is set up. Some of it was good, obviously. But then some of it is just poorly planned out. And I don't know. I think that it ties back into the director, Deborah Chow. Originally, I thought she was good, but after this, I just don't think she was right for the job, as Alex has said. So I'm gonna go. It's better. I'm gonna go 7 out of 10. I started at 8, went down to 7. By the time we do this episode breakdown,
if you don't
I'm probably lower this to a 6.
Don't compare it to the last one because obviously the last one was trash. If you break this one down.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna stick there 7, and I can go once we get the final episode. So here's Reva reveal kind of helps some of our other characterization up until this point. See, there's a reason for this. It's like, yeah, but I still don't like her character. Still didn't buy it. Wasn't executed the right way. So here we go. Breakdown. Obi-Wan is cornered, okay? Reva comes down with all the fucking soldiers. We get that flashback sequence, which was fantastic. Beautifully shot. Love it. It's cool to see the two do a little bit of the old school fast lightsaber battles from the prequels. But then Reva and Obi-Wan talk behind the door. They're talking through the door using kind of the force to help them. And she's like, and this is where it's revealed that she's the little girl. And she's like, where were you? bitch, I was on fucking that planet and I was killing Grievous and I getting betrayed by my best friends. Where the fuck were you?
Getting Order 6. I mean, yeah, it's like we were all getting Order 66. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and then and I can't help but think like all of the troopers are just standing there listening to this. It's like, what are we doing? What is she doing? Just shut up. Don't
Force whispering.
Don't worry about it. I was like, okay. So they literally talk in front of everybody. But okay, so and then you get then after that exchange, she cuts into the wall very easily. Vader shows up in order to accelerate things, and we get first we get the stormtroopers rushing in. We get the rebels retreating, and during this time, the bay doors are locked closed, and they need somebody to figure this. There's tons and tons of technical, guys in there, and rebels and things and partisans, but nobody knows how to do it, I guess. Oh, it was because you had to be really small. And so she was like, so that's the purpose of Leia.
Oh, so children built it? They used children to build the tunnel?
To access this,
yes.
yeah.
Oh,
okay. So a 9-year-old goes in there and has to reprogram it. Meanwhile, she doesn't see the droid that fucked everything up, right? Until the very last minute. But Vader eventually, well, first we get that hallway sequence. And like I said, it wasn't shot very well. It just looked foolish to me. And it's like, how is nobody getting shot? You're taking me out of it. I mean, even New Hope had, this kind of where people aren't taking cover, but it looked better because they were moving around and shit. And I don't know.
It was like colonial war. Everyone just lined up in a straight line. Straight line fire.
Even that would have been more effective, Joe, because they would have been fire and it would have put a line of fire down, then people would have actually died.
It's just bad direction. I mean, that scene has happened in Star Wars dozens of times, and
but
every single other time it looks better. Well, it's exactly the same writing. It's like they have a fight, most people are missing. That is totally fine. It's acceptable to me that they're missing. What is not acceptable is the way that it was shot that makes it look ridiculous.
Obi-Wan makes a play. He knows he's lost, he's cornered, the bay's closed, got to buy some time. I'm going to surrender. So Obi-Wan surrenders, which gets Vader to come down from his ship, kind of baits him out, and he basically tells Reva, I'm going to bring you to him. He's like, no, I'm bringing him to you. Get it? Now you go after him. Get him. She's like, all right. But I kept thinking Obi-Wan was gonna.
Obi-Wan is clearly sacrificing her.
Yeah,
it's like, holy shit, this is nuts.
He just ditched. He said, "Peace out." But anyways, so he shows up and she disappears because she's hiding in a fucking corner. Now this dumbass doesn't attack until he's fully finished with his badass scene, because she could literally attack him right there while he's distracted trying to hold the transport down. But she conveniently waits for him to finish with that. Because the Vader sees the transport leading, pulls it apart, Force Unleashed, cool, like it. But then he's immediately made comic relief when a fucking second ship comes out of nowhere. It's supposed to be Obi-Wan is so clever. It was a plan. The rebels are clever. But again, the scene, it was unnecessary. As cool as it was, like it was written that way so that he would have that Force Unleashed moment. They're like, well, if he does that, then
we don't have a show.
We don't have a show. We win. No. There was a second ship in the closet, and the rocks reveal a closet, and then the second ship flies out.
I mean, that's a problem with like telekinetic, telepathic, uber powerful space wizards. Is we know that they have established powers, and they just fucking conveniently forget to use them. And it's hard as an audience member to go, wait a minute, we know how badass Vader is. We know that Vader knows that Obi-Wan is not in there.
Just because it was in Star Wars Unleashed doesn't necessarily mean we need to see it in this series, because then it's like, well, why didn't he do that with the Millennium Falcon and Hoth? And why didn't we see him do some of this stuff before? I guess he showed up a little later. I have to rewatch Empire, but I just kind of thought it was a little unnecessary. So then, anyways, as he's remembering in the past how Obi-Wan is continually able to beat Anakin, Anakin realizes that, damn, I got beat again because he is that flashback. I'm really glad we went to that. I thought it was going to be short because I didn't think they wanted the budget to continue to do de-aging and continue to do the scene. But no, we got that scene several times. We got the conclusion from Vader's kind of perspective. And it was good because at that moment, that's when Reva tries to attack. And we get a great scene here. Liked it. Very cool. Reva Vader fight is awesome. But I'm not really sure what she was doing on the ground, like real low. Do you remember that when she like does all these spin, then she comes at him real low, like a kind of hanging out, like a Brazilian fighter kind of style, and it was like that. But you're not doing anything. It didn't really work. Anyway, Vader is fucking awesome, just like force pushing her all over the place. At one point, she's like, he defeats her, and she's like kneeling in front of him, like, oh fuck, Dooku. He's gonna fucking Dooku her.
Nope.
No, he doesn't Dooku her, but he does do a pretty cool fucking thing with the boomerang saber in live action. He kind of boomerangs that saber back, and then he slows that spinning saber with the Force. Yeah, so that was awesome. And then the Grand Inquisitor comes in and taunts her, takes his fucking badge back, and kind of says, goodbye. It's like, all right.
That she's still alive.
Yeah. Did we really need Reva as a character? Why couldn't it have been the Grand Inquisitor the whole time? Why couldn't it, better yet, Vader, I guess, since he's there? But I don't know. They needed her in there for some reason. And then they do the stupidest thing, which is you're gutter trash, so we're just going to leave you here. I know you're still alive, but I'm going to turn my back and hope you die. Both the Grand Inquisitor and Darth Vader just leave, which makes no sense. Instead of doing what they've done to all the others and kill them all, these Jedi. It's like, I know what you've been. Really, Vader? You know what she is? Then why didn't you kill her and put her in amber? Right? I guess for the Reva spinoff.
She holds the most important secret in his entire life.
It's the fucking Reva spinoff.
I would never, ever believe for a second that he needed to use her for any reason, and he would kill her immediately. The second is like, oh shit, you know who I am? You're dead. Just fucking dead. Because especially she comes in as a kid. She comes in, the kid is like, I want to be an Inquisitor, and he's like, oh shit, you know who I am? Fucking dead. Immediately.
Yeah.
She could have told anybody, and she did. She's on a fucking planet going, I know that Anakin is Vader. There could have been people in that room.
Yeah, and it's just, it's forced writing, and then as she's crawling on the ground, she gets the saber, and then she hears this broken communication device that it just so happened that our fake Jedi just dropped on the ground because he's a fucking idiot, and then it just so happens to play on an unsecure thing. You don't even need to put a password in it; it just starts playing, and it just so happens that part of the dimension tells her exactly where they're at and who is exactly taking care of it. It's like, really?
No code.
And she's surviving again. She's been impaled twice by a lightsaber, and motherfucking Qui-Gon Jinn gets impaled in the very same way, and he slumps over dead within less than fucking seconds, a minute. And Reva, it doesn't fucking affect her at all because of goddamn plot armor, because we got to inject this character, because if everybody's going to love her character. Oh, do you hate her character? Spin-off series just because you hate her character. I swear to God, if Reva makes this out alive, I'm going to be so fucking pissed.
We just got the plot line of the entire her whole spin-off series. It's going to be her trying to hunt Luke. We know the whole spinoff.
No, I don't think so. I think because they're trying to make you like this character, they're going to do it where she no longer gives a shit about that, and she's going to do her own thing. She's free of everything. I think she's going to let Luke live. Luke has to live. There's no tension. We know that Luke has to live. We know that Luke cannot see a lightsaber, by the way. If she ignites a lightsaber in front of him or does some kind of Jedi battle, if fucking she battles Obi-Wan, Luke cannot see a second of it because he's like, what is this? You know, when he's
looking right at it.
So she learns the location of the boy from the fucking broken communicator that the fake Jedi dude just drops. And Ball recorded the dumbest message in the history of Star Wars, letting everyone know where Luke is.
It's a 7?
No. 6. We're going down because then you get the Leia stuff. It's like, and you could tell it's written in there. We need to give her character. Everybody loves her character. We gotta give her something, make it important to the story. She could literally just be in the ship. Yeah, she doesn't need to, but okay. So it's
she can
like
be helping
fine.
people. She can be doing. She can be picking up a pistol, like a blaster. She can be doing a lot of other things. She doesn't have to be the savior of the entire rebellion.
I just think it's so stupid how she continues to survive, and Disney's treating these lightsabers now like they're not even fucking deadly weapons anymore.
Can I tell you my conspiracy I have about the ending?
Yes,
of this episode?
tell me the conspiracy.
I don't.
Then we'll talk about the.
I don't think there was a second ship when they originally filmed it. And the reason I don't think it's I think he's holding the ship, and I think he's ripping it up, but then it ends up taking off, and that's why the hyperdrive is broken when they get up into space. Remember the ship that isn't broken? Like,
and that's another thing. Vader's fucking capital ship is in orbit because Vader's here. They have TIE fighters, and they don't fucking. Are they gonna chase him? I guess they're gonna. They're just out of range. They're pulling a Last Jedi. I guess the ship is
they
so
didn't
fast.
chase him the first time. You didn't chase him the second time.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Alex might be onto something. No, because he put. Oh, so they changed the entire CGI. I think it doesn't come down. It doesn't. Get
I think
ripped
he rips.
in half.
I think he rips some of it apart. Like we rip some superficial pieces off. But there's no reason that they would take off with a ship that doesn't have a hyperdrive when there's when they know that there's a capital ship above them.
They got no fucking choice. I guess they're gonna just outrun him on impulse drive, which is what they're doing right now.
But they can't do that. They
I
can't
know,
even outrun
but they did that with snow speeders. I just realized something. In the last episode, yet another thing in the last episode. They got away on one snow speeder. Yeah. Do you remember the cockpit in the snow speeder?
Yeah.
How the fuck did Leia and Obi-Wan and Tala and
big trench coat
it fit in the goddamn snow speeder with pilots?
It's like a
trench
car.
coat. They have a trench coat. They all fit in the trench coat. It's like a TARDIS.
Or I guess maybe there wasn't a pilot in the back seat, and then they're just cramped in there and the butt to ass cheek and every All right. Anyway. Anyways, so yeah, it's just making me more and more pissed off the more I think about it. And why is nobody talking about, this completely excuses the Reva character. That's why she was so annoying at the beginning, because she was pontificating and trying to prove herself to the other ones, and her plan was so fucking genius. It was so great. No, that's not the point, Joe. The point is that she's so blinded by anger that she's just a reckless tool, and Obi-Wan saw it and took advantage of it. Genius!
You know how much more interesting it would have been?
It's not that genius.
No, I don't think it's very good at all. It would have actually been really interesting to watch her be an asshole episode 1, and then episode 2 we get the reveal that she's working against Vader. We see her flashbacks.
That would have made people, I think, like her a little bit more.
Because you get to like her this whole series, and we don't have to wait for another
Because
one.
it's far more unpredictable. If you make her, she's doing all this in public, and later on she has to come to grips with the fact that she cut somebody's hand off, and she may or may not have really wanted to do that. All that stuff is far more compelling TV. And she's constantly on the lookout for the other Inquisitors, and she's looking for a moment. That makes her so much more of a tragic and sympathetic character, but they just didn't do it in that way, and they did it. Anyways, her screaming is just so fire! Pour it on, or whatever she says.
It's like, lady, you got a lightsaber that cuts that door in half a second. Just cut the door open.
But she did. Like, there's no way.
I do like Obi-Wan's rise from being just so fucking defeated, and to then having the small hope, and then becoming himself again. And you even see it in his wardrobe is changing, and I like Obi-Wan's kind of arc. But because we had to do this Reva, because we had to do these Grand Inquisitors, it takes away from that Obi-Wan arc. It takes away from the Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan. It takes away from potentially another badass Grand Inquisitor story. But okay. Yeah. And another, I've seen this, a lot of other people make this point. Weekly episodes for this particular series wasn't a good idea. If this was condensed, because you have to, like, you see Reva's performance and then you wait and you marinate on it for another week. If it was, she was this way, and then the reveal, and now you understand everything that why she was that way, it would have worked way more effectively in a 2-hour film or a 3-hour or 2.5-hour film, which there were rumors that Obi-Wan at one point was in production for his own film. Same thing with Boba Fett, and then they kind of went to Disney+. So I felt like maybe there wasn't enough material here, and they kind of dragged some things out, the side plot with Leia and the side mission here, and then we got to come up with new characters because we got to fill 6 hours of content. that maybe that wasn't the greatest idea and it could have been a movie. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I think that, it could have worked, and it. I mean, this was better than the last one, but still pretty fucking. It makes me question the series. Now, the hope that I have is that we have a badass Vader / Obi-Wan fight at the end. I saw it in the concept art. Does that mean we're getting another fight, or we're not getting another fight?
Could be in the Reva series.
The only thing it's right. That doesn't line up with the Reva series. So it's going to be Reva going to Tatooine since she just learned it. They already set it up. We already know what's going to happen. We already knew who she was. We already knew what was going to happen, and we know what's going to happen now. She's going to go to Tatooine. She's going to try to kill the kid, but she already said in a previous episode, protected your family. I like that. And then she's kind of weak when interrogating Leia, so she's not going to. And then she has trauma from the school shooting, so she's going to realize she's not able to kill kids, so she's not going to kill Luke, but he's going to see her fucking lightsaber. It's going to make no fucking sense. And then Obi-Wan will show up and maybe mercifully will kill her. And or Vader will show up. No, because Vader cannot know where Luke is hiding. So maybe they get away from the Owen farm and then Vader shows up to finish her off. And he's like, "Why were you here?" And she was like, I left something here.
Maybe.
I don't fucking know, man. But it's Reva.
Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It's gonna end with Luke and the Owen, and then everything. And at this, and I was hoping out, at the beginning of the series, I was hoping out for a Qui-Gon appearance. And at this point, I'm like, you know what?
No.
Maybe Liam Neeson was like, you know what? Nah. I read through the script. Nah, I don't want to be in this one. Maybe it's like if he's not in this one, I think I'd be all right because I think the material should have been better for him.
Oh,
you know, and I don't know if he's in it or not. I kind of still want to see him though. I love Liam Neeson, so I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, I just like Qui-Gon Jinn, and it would be cool to see him again. But the episode 6 could help if we have a badass scene with Vader and Obi-Wan, like it fucking should have been, and Qui-Gon Jinn communication, it should have been.
They got stabbed in the stomach. That's deadly.
No.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not dead.
Oh, it's not?
No, didn't you see the fucking sabers just bouncing off people?
Let's go back and maybe see if Qui-Gon is still alive. Maybe he's still alive. Nope, still dead.
Yeah, he went over sleep. He was sleeping. He was sleeping. Then when everybody left the room.
All right, that's how he's going to come back. He's like, you thought I was dead.
But I wasn't dead the whole time. She missed I had a second stomach. All right, guys, that's it for us, Obi-Wan. Thank y'all so much for watching. We hope this thing ends nicely. And
no hope.
But I'm hearing rumors that they want to try to maybe change the ending a little bit so that they can continue in Season 2. I don't think Obi-Wan needs a Season 2. I was hoping that it would be a tighter written, more justified miniseries. And it was really a vehicle to introduce Reva
it's a stepping stone.
Mini Leia.
How the fuck do we live in a world where I like the current Star Trek show and I hate the Star Wars show?
Yeah. New Trek has turned around a little bit. At least with Strange New Worlds is great. Continue watching it. And this is worrying us. All right, guys. That's it for this one. Thank you so much. We shall see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.